Not available while recording. So GoPro, this is a GoPro 11 preview, not available while recording. Why not? Right, hello, I'm setting up for a trip. Gwynn and I have decided to go on a little camping trip and take you along with us. This time, though, we're just going to let the camera run. So you can get an idea of the behind-the-scenes stuff that Gwynn and I do when we're camping. I think this is going to be fun. Right, first thing to do. No, it's not figure out where I'm going to go. And why am I going in the first place? Well, in this particular case, it's a YouTube video. Only then will I need this new book that I bought yesterday called 4-Wheel Drive Camping Escapes. It's a HIMA publication, Perth and Southwest, which will indicate to you that I don't want to particularly travel very far. And I have been given, I don't have anything around, see how badly prepared I am, I don't have it around me, but I've been given some really, really nice kit sent to me. I didn't ask for it. And I want to show you that. I'm going to be traveling. I live here and I'm going to be doing my little expedition down here on this little piece of coast down here. So I'll be driving south all the way down there. It's a very easy drive, double lane, and then it goes single lane somewhere around here, and then explore this area. Right, so that must go in the car. And it's an easy trip because there are only 2 of us going. So my most important things to carry, fishing rod, because the fishing down there is quite good. Might catch something off the beach and cook it. And Gwynn's going to prepare the food. Now we've got something very interesting with Gwynn's food preparation. She is creating a course for the Overland Workshop. She is a master, expert at preserving food. Not just preserving food, but preparing food for travel. And the way she manages to prepare the food for travel reduces space use inside the car massively, and also reduces weight massively. And there are a lot of other things too, and she's really, really good at it. Camera battery charger, drone battery charger, mini monitor battery charger, a little light, and I use this stuff. That's Velcro tape, and stick it on the carpet and you can secure absolutely everything. These are all stuck with Velcro, not this obviously, but a lot of this is just stuck with Velcro, and I tidy up my cables using this strap.
Rump.
No.
The cow's rump.
No.
It's cow rump.
It's cow rump. Easy, try it.
He's got no sense of whimsy. That's the trouble with the man. You've got a town full of cows. How can you not call it cow rump? I mean, it's the cow's rump. What else can it possibly be called?
In Aboriginal, this would be place of the cow.
I have no idea.
Because up refers to place of, but it's at the end of the word.
Yes.
So place of the cow.
Well, you don't know that cow is the name of cow in Aboriginal. They might have had a completely different word.
It's too cool. Or alternatively, it was called Karamup, and the settlers decided, hey, we've got to have a lot of cows.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
That's probably what happened.
Yes.
So while these settlers get Gwynn to take pictures of them, I'm off to do something else.
We need a couple of these for the homestead.
About 2 hours later, we've left the asphalt things are getting interesting. We're going to a place called Black Point. It's a beach. I understand that there are lots of little roads that run down to the sea from this road, and we're going to take some of those, and actually if we do, I think there's a fair chance that we might actually have a beach all to ourselves.
Yay!
And it didn't take us very long to not know where we were going. Yes, it's been a little tricky today, actually.
We've needed a sextant.
Yes, right. 2 GPSs are not enough. And a road map.
With directions, you know,
No,
turn
but
by turn directions.
No, turn by turn. That was our problem. We were relying on the turn by turn, and it gave us a bad instruction. We should not have learned by my own. I should practice what I preach.
Yes.
Don't use turn by turn when you're in a backcountry road. Far better just to use a GPS and use it for referencing. Anyway, it's a beautiful country. We had a nice drive.
Yes, we have. We have had a nice drive. In fact, let's show you what some of this countryside looks like. So, cue, turn the camera. We've just engaged four-wheel drive. Isn't that exciting? Yep, I think it's exciting.
Are you waiting for me to answer?
I was waiting for a conversation, but it seems like that's not going to happen. Oh wow, there was a big hole in the road there.
We're not going to do that. I thought you were pointing the camera at outside.
I'm about to.
Okay. Well,
That familiar grind as one drives along a sandy, rutted track.
yeah. And the fact that my tire's still in.
Rock hard.
Yeah. That's still fine. I'm not even feeling anything. But as soon as I start to struggle, I'm going to let him down. So I'm not going to go and dig great big holes for other people. So.
Oh, nice. Look what's coming up.
Now it's coming up. It looks like quite interesting. So this is probably would be a good time to let the tire pressures down right now, I'd say. Well, we'll just get to the top of this hill and then I'll let it down. Little clearing. It's not difficult at all, but I'm anticipating it's going to get more difficult. So, oh look, the camera fell down.
Yeah, well, people will say you shouldn't have had it there and it should have been strapped down and you should have had a... Yeah.
Right, to make stuff useful, in there is my deflator. That's a microphone. That's a PBS. I mean, that's my personal locator beacon. Come on, it is that kind of thing. There you go.
How many times have we filmed this shot?
Really interesting.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Like everything we do.
But if you don't do it, YouTubers will say, why are you letting the tire pressures down? No, look at you.
You finished whining.
Started. 20 psi. Happy now? Oh, it should be less. It should be 18. You really don't know what you're doing.
See what I've got to put up with?
You have it lucky, my girl. You only come on some of my trips. Oh, look.
He's a complete lunatic.
It was more interesting than what I was doing.
I could argue that everything is more interesting than what you're doing, but that would be mean.
That's never stopped you before. To get you to do one.
No. That's a terrible idea. I'm just here to look pretty and to hold the camera.
You do that very well, my darling.
Thank you, my sweetheart. You keep saying that and you'll get a good supper tonight. Out of a can.
I can't tell the difference anyway. You're not still filming, are you?
I'm going to film the whole process, all 4 tyres.
And should we just let it run? Let it run, not edit it at all.
If you want to have a mass unsubscribe, yeah, sure.
Actually, you'd be surprised. I mean, the thing is that I do the most beautiful travel show, spend a fortune of air tickets, fuel, parts for the car, you get 9 views. Do the most boring thing about a tyre being deflated. 1 million new subscribers. Go on, viewers, prove me right. Go on, subscribe.
You know you want to.
Oh, you don't get air like that anymore. Huh? Except when I bend down after a heavy lunch.
Right, can we get going again?
Yeah, jump in the car.
Done. Keep waiting for the moment where we come over a hill and we see the sea. I can smell it. Can you smell it? Well, might not have hit the sea, but we've hit a traffic jam. It's not. Oh, and there's the sea.
Oh well, yeah, I'm going to have to let my tyre pressures down probably another 10 psi or so to get on and off that beach.
That is a wind-whipped sea.
So what we should do is take a little walk.
Excuse me?
We should take a little walk.
You're breaking up?
Maybe we just take a walk, have a look first.
So we've arrived at the sea.
Good fishing spot though, look at that. We've decided not to drive onto the beach and certainly not to camp on it. Some firewood. It's far too exposed to the wind. It's flat. What do you reckon?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, eh?
Mm.
Really lovely.
You can't make a fire with that. You can't start a fire with that. That's what you finish the fire. So the eternal question, is it flat?
Oh, I think it's flat. I think first attempt.
Occasionally, my enthusiasm for the task gets the better of me when filming, and I jump ahead of Andrew and the camera, and tonight is just such an example. So, I made beef stew. This was at the beginning of the year, and I canned it, which basically means I put all the raw ingredients in this jar, filled it up with spices, salt, etc., stuck a canning lid on it with a ring. I put it in a pressure canner and I cooked it in the pressure canner for an hour and 15 minutes. So here I've got some beef stew. This is a perfect size for Andrew and me. Cook that up. I cook up a batch of them and then just heat it up, pour it over some rice. Delicious. I've now brought it along for us to have for supper tonight because you've arrived at our campsite. I don't feel like doing a big cook and I've got my canned stew. But what I ran ahead with was the opening of it, and I really should not have done that because opening a can of home canned meat or food of any kind is critical. It's a critical first step to making sure that you haven't picked up a bit of botulism along the way.
There you go. I didn't get you one.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Except I don't have anything to cheers with.
I mentioned to you that I'd been sent some nice kit. This I actually asked for. These guys were advertising on my channel. The last time I did this, it was William Pater sunglasses, and I contacted them and said, "You're advertising on my channel and I think they're fantastic." And they said, "Well, I will then send you some." So I have been wearing William Pater sunglasses now for 3 years, and I absolutely love them because I'm very, very hard on sunglasses. This is a bearskin hoodie, and I asked for one for myself. So you know what they did? They sent one over to Gwynn as well. Oh, this is nice. Oh, that's... No, it's the right size. Exactly the right size, I would say. Oh, that's fantastic. It's got such a nice feel to it. Double zips. Wow, that's nice. Just as well we didn't get your jacket now.
Because I was about to eat and
And you'll spill all over it.
I'll spill all over it. In fact, it's a family joke. That they can always tell that I haven't been taken by
Aliens and swapped
aliens, yeah.
with
swapped.
somebody else. Because you will always mess while having a meal.
Yep. And
Right.
it's so good to see my daughters have picked it up as well.
Terrible.
It runs
Kate.
in the family.
Very. And that took you what?
5 minutes?
You don't need to refrigerate it.
No.
So it doesn't take up, this is a fresh meat dish that does not take up fridge space.
And if you think that's good, check this out.
You come to see what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm dehydrating potatoes, which I use to make mashed potatoes. This is great to take camping, obviously, because it's incredibly light. Also, I put it in my pantry. Basically what I do is I've got this natty little machine. It's great. I'm going to put a link for this in the description below. Bam! I get my potato slices. It comes with different attachments, but this is the one I've chosen for this. And you obviously get it into water because you don't want your potatoes to oxidize. And then for dehydrating, you need to blanch things. So it's like really going back to the olden days, like one's grandparents used to do. So I've got some that I'm bringing to the boil here to blanch. And once they've come to the boil, I'll blanch them for 2 minutes. Then dry them off in a salad spinner. Stick them on the dehydrator tray and put them into the dehydrator until they're nice and dry. And then once they're dry, I stick them in a container and I watch it for a couple of days, keep turning it over to make sure that there's no moisture anywhere. That's called conditioning. And then I'll vacuum seal it and stick it in the pantry. And when we go camping, I can take some out of this and vacuum seal some packs and take it camping. So how do you use this stuff? Because it's pretty dry. You look so cozy.
It's fantastic. See, the double zip means I could...
I think the time has come for me to...
You want what? Yours?
Yeah,
Yours.
pension off my garbage bag. Oh, this is seriously cool and warm. There we go.
Gee, that looks good. Eh? Oh, look, I can do that. I can do that and keep my hands warm. That's good. Eh? You never know when that might be needed. And not bearskin, it's just the brand. Look, and it's got Velcro on the side here.
So we can stick to each
No,
other.
but it doesn't know. Why have you got... why is that must... why... I'll have
So you
to figure
can
that
put a
out.
patch on yourself. If lost,
Yes!
return to.
Do you want one? There you go.
Only if it says, if lost, return to Hogwarts.
Okay. There you go.
It's upside down.
It's for when you're doing handstands. Bit of bad news. I lost my shovel. The clamp broke. It's not the best clamps in the world, but it obviously got hooked on a branch yesterday, and it actually survived the entire Canningstock route, and it has my very favourite shovel on it. In fact, it was a gift several years ago, and I've had it on my vehicles for approaching 3 decades. And I'll be a bit disappointed if I lose it. So we're actually going to go and find another campsite, but on the way we're going to backtrack a bit and see if we can find it. And of course, it's a very nice off-road shovel, and it's actually, I understand, ex-British Army. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, a very, very nice little shovel.
So we're going to drive back along the road that we took up to the beach, and we're going to look and see if we can spot it. That is the plan.
I, many years ago, painted part of the handle in a bright day-glow orange so that when using it as a recovery, you know, it would be easily seen and therefore not easily left behind. But I haven't, that paint is very, very chipped. There's not that much of it left, so finding it in green undergrowth, yeah, we're going to need some luck here.
We drove back and forward for a couple of hours. I used the same brackets on my previous troop carrier, never had a problem. Given the way that the bracket is actually broken, I believe it was stolen. I would have heard it break, that I am very sure of. And the only people who had a chance to steal it were those people that we found on the track yesterday. And while there were a few narrow spots, none nearly narrow enough to break the bracket. I believe that they took it while we were having our stroll on the beach. The simplest explanation tends to be the correct one.
There were people here when we arrived, and this is private property, and it's obviously a place where people can come and clean fish.
It's always sad to be attached to things that are attached to the outside of the car. It's the risk.
Yes, you're right. Don't be attached to anything that's attached to the outside of the car. But you know what I figure about old stuff like that? If I'm too scared of losing it and I just leave it somewhere, well then...
Why own it?
Why own it? Just because of the memories, the fact that you've used it for years and years and years. So that to me is, it's worth the risk of losing kit.
To enjoy using it.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of the track, back to the road, and no sign of the spade. So that's sad.
Oh well.
Oh well.
What do they say? Moths and rust.
Thieves break in and steal. Yeah.
What's so nice about this really is that there's nobody around. Hey?
Oh, I know, it's the
There's
best part.
absolutely nobody around.
It's absolutely the best part. And there's been so much rain this winter. Everything is lush and green, and the insect life is just incredible. Not all of it friendly, but just absolutely wonderful to see so much life in the canopy of the trees. Whoa, just as we were saying, no one around.
Say that again. I was rolling camera.
Just as we were saying that there's no one around, we almost rode into a white Discovery. And a white Range Rover.
White Range Rover. He obviously hasn't seen the Canning Stock Route series, otherwise he would have stopped and said hello. So that there is an example of the difference between owning a Toyota and owning a Land Rover. If we had been driving a Land Rover of any kind, those chaps would have stopped and said hello, and it would have been a social event worthy of everybody's time. Talk about our cars and what we've seen. Drive a Toyota, there's no common bond. Perhaps specifically Toyota Land Cruiser BDJ 40s, yes, if two of them passed each other, they would stop and have a chat. Land Rovers, doesn't matter what it is. If you're driving a Land Rover and you come across another Land Rover owner, driver, operator in a remote environment like this, they will wave at each other and they will stop. However, troop carriers, different story altogether. Troop carrier, doesn't matter how old, how new, irrelevant. If you pass another one on a track like this, you will stop and say hello and talk about your vehicles, talk about the weather, talk about the campsites you just stayed at.
Skip a bit, brother.
There you go.
Part of the brotherhood.
My brotherhood, and there ends the sermon for the day.